What if I were born again and my Zen didn't kick me up a notch, and I won't know what to do without you?
This is Michael J. Epstein of The Motion Sick. I'm going to ask him 20 questions. Michael, how did you come up with the name The Motion Sick?
Well, I didn't really come up with it. Fabio came up with it. In his fine piece of fiction literature, Pirate, Fabio talks about the motion sick as stowaways aboard a pirate ship. So my policy throughout my entire life has been to always listen to Fabio and never really doubt the things that he tells me to do. So that is where the name comes from.
Aside from Fabio, who are your musical influences?
Oh, Fabio is a big influence, so it's hard to name others, but I don't know if you've heard his recording. He does have an album out called, I believe it's called A Time for Romance. Well, the video is definitely called A Time for Romance. I believe the accompanying album is also called that. And he says, come with me to a world of romance where every woman's dreams can come true. And that has influenced me a lot. But I also like a lot of other music. I'm a big fan of people who write songs that are good, and by that I guess I mean the songwriting part. Good lyrics, interesting ideas, things like that. So I pay attention to anybody who writes good songs, and I try to copy everything they do, because that's the only way I can figure out how to learn how to do what they're doing.
Besides Fabio, what inspires your own songs?
Wow. Fabio is a topic of inspiration for me, and I think for everybody in the band. I think I speak for especially Travis when I say that Fabio is a major influence on all of us. Travis learned most of his drumming techniques from Fabio. Patrick learned a lot of his guitar techniques from Fabio. Fabio's not that good at bass, so Matt had to go. Matt wanted to learn from Fabio, but he had to. Excuse me, this is a serious interview here. Matt had to learn some of his bass techniques from other people. Though he did, he got some ideas from Fabio as well. But I also, what was the question again? Who is my?
What inspires your songwriting?
Oh, inspires my songwriting. Oh, lots of things. Anything that happens in the world around me. A lot of times I take ideas from books or movies or television or things like that. We have one song called The Owls Are Not What They Seem, which is very much based on the sort of underlying terror and inability to beat fate that occurs in the TV show Twin Peaks. Our song 30 Lives has a reference to video game codes being used to spend time with somebody. Jean Paul, which someone else wrote, I won't say who, but it might be somebody in the room. That song is about the French Revolution, and it's sort of a multi-character layered perspective on some events, particularly a specific assassination that occurred during the French Revolution. So really anything that's around. I like Kurt Vonnegut a lot, so definitely some of his ideas of narrative are involved in the songwriting process. Things like that. Fabio, mostly Fabio.
What inspired you to start writing and playing music?
Oh, I think I just had to do it. I mean, Fabio said that it would please people if I were to decide to start writing music. I had a dream one night where Fabio came to me. He had kind of like wings, and he flew down, and he said, "You must get in front of people and play music. If you do not do that, then I will be very angry," and nobody wants to make Fabio angry. So I think it's just, maybe that was my subconscious Fabio. I don't think that was the real Fabio entering my dreams. It's hard to know. I don't think that that kind of matrix technology existed at that time, because this is many years ago. But I think Fabio was just able to, he's such a piece of my subconscious that I think it just told me that I absolutely needed to create music, and so here I am forcibly doing it. I don't think anybody makes music for any other reason than that they really have to. They have no choice, because Fabio tells them.
So give us the timeline. When did you start playing music?
Oh, I first started, I played violin a little bit as like a little teeny kid. I played drums in marching band from like 5th grade on, and but I wasn't really into songwriting or anything like that until I was about 15, when I got a guitar I think I got a guitar for my 15th birthday, in fact, and haven't put it down since. So it's been a few years, quite a few years at this point.
And when did you start the Motion Sick?
The Motion Sick, officially, our first show was officially in early 2006, and it had sort of been an idea that was lingering before that and building up into the entity that it became. But 2006 is when the band really emerged.
And up to present, what's the last song you wrote?
The last song I wrote. The last song I wrote, actually, this is quite true. I several years ago, and several can mean a number greater than 3 or 4. We found out there was a debate between the interviewer and myself the other day about what
Between few, many, and several.
Between few, many, and several, and we determined that several could mean as many as the approximately 7 years ago that this occurred. But I had a dream several years ago. Sorry, Barbara. Several years ago, I had a dream. That's not funny. I really did have a dream where I was on stage performing literally the greatest song ever performed. People were going crazy. They were singing along. It was like really moving everybody in the room. And I woke up, and it was maybe 4 a.m. or something. So in the middle of the stream, I just woke up, and I immediately pulled out my computer and recorded myself singing really quietly this song. And I had to do it quietly because I didn't want to wake my roommates. But it basically went, there's a small crack, yeah, it's true, but it's gonna be a while before we make it through. There's a small crack, yeah, it's true, but it's gonna be a while before we break on through. And I've had this chorus in my subconscious and my conscious floating about for the last several years. And I finally sat down the other day and actually wrote some lyrics to it. I had to decide what the song was about because the chorus didn't really tell me much, apart from a small crack being involved in it. And so the approach I decided to take was a person who was in jail, or in prison, I guess I should say. I only recently really understood the difference between jail and prison, but this person is in prison for a crime they didn't commit. And they wake up one day and there's a crack in the wall and there's light coming through, and they feel that this is a sign telling them that they should break out basically through this wall. And so they break out through the wall, and they taste freedom for a moment, but they're quickly caught again and executed for trying to escape. So it's the feel-good song of the month. So it's called Small Crack.
All right. If you could go on your dream tour, who would you tour with?
I think I'm just gonna give the answer that the universe is trying to make me give, and that would be Billy Joel. And the reason I say this, I really hate Billy Joel. I don't enjoy his music at all. I find nothing compelling about his music. I don't know him personally. I'm guessing I wouldn't have any particular strong positive nor negative feelings about him personally, though it's hard to say. But I'm not a fan of his music. But when when early on in the history of the band, we had a write-up on the Spin website, and one of the things that they described on our first album was that it had lyrical call-outs to Billy Joel. And I have no idea what that was a reference to, and I contacted the guy who wrote it, and he never wrote me back. So I never found out where those lyrical call-outs to Billy Joel were, or if they existed. And then just the other day, Travis informed me that he was watching VH1 Classics, and there are these, I guess, shows where they show like a top 10 videos by different artists. And he said our song 30 Lives was in the intro piece to one of these. And he says, I think somebody's out to get you because guess who that artist was? And sure enough, Billy Joel. So I think it just makes sense for us to go on tour with Billy Joel.